You're a professional web creator who needs a platform that works as hard as you do. Wix Studio is built for you, whether you're a designer, developer, or marketer ready to amplify your impact. Build intuitively with advanced design features and AI-powered tools. Manage your clients and projects efficiently from one workspace. Scale with dynamic systems and fully managed infrastructure. Create exceptional websites with hyper efficiency on Wix Studio.
Lowe's knows to bring your vision to life, it's important to find the right color. That's why MyLowe's Rewards members get a free Valspar paint or exterior stain sample to test your look to confidently refresh your space. Offer valid in-store only 8/7 to 8/20. Limit 1 per customer while supplies last. Discount taken in time of purchase. See associate for details. Rewards program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Welcome to Season 3 of the Knack for Business podcast. Over 250 episodes strong, we're here to ignite your entrepreneurial spirit with fresh insights, networking gems, and creative strategies that elevate your game. Are you ready to discover what your Knack for Business truly is? Your hosts are Bernie Fransgrote from Creative Insight and Wayne Pratt from Motivate You Inc.
So today's topic is Beyond the Camera, using video testimonials to build trust and drive growth. Question for the audience: how can you use video testimonials to build trust and grow business and still manage your time effectively? And that's what our guest is all about today. Let me introduce Neil Carroll from VidWheel. Neil is the owner and founder of VidWheel LLC, who brings over 15 years of expertise in video production and creative storytelling. Throughout his career, Neil has guided countless companies from startups to a unicorn tech giant on their journey of growth and success. Now focusing on SaaS and startups, Neil sees the rise of remote work and digital business as an exciting opportunity to help these professionals expand their reach and impact. His mission is to empower businesses to create powerful professional video content that drives growth. He's also a returning guest from Season 1, Episode 58. Neil, welcome, and how are you, sir?
I'm great. Thank you for having me back.
What is bringing the focus on the SaaS, software as a service, and the startup sectors? What's making that light come on?
Yeah, a lot of it is simply that I've had success with those client types in the past. One of our more successful campaigns that we've had as a business has been with a early stage startup in the SaaS space. And I think part of the reason that we'll get more into this, I think part of the reason is that this company needed to build a lot of trust with their audience, and video is a great way to do that.
I've seen that. Wayne and I have talked to different SaaS-based products, and someone says, oh, we do this and this, and then all of a sudden the proof's in the pudding, but we never saw the pudding.
Yeah, I think that's my new favorite quote. I'll take that. It's easy to promise things, and maybe you even have certain features as a software company, but it's more about how your clients find using it. It's a big piece of creating a successful and growing company. You need that trust. You need to know how people are using it. You need to know that aligns with the customer base that you're talking to. And if things don't line up, sometimes you make something and hear crickets.
Yep.
The reasons for doing what you do are obvious. Can you walk me through the process of creating a compelling video?
Yeah. So what we're focusing on these days are testimonial videos. A big piece of making those testimonial videos impactful is finding the right customer. So you want to find those customers that that are good for your business, that'll drive you forward, especially if you're in growth mode, customers that you can replicate, and then talk to them in a real and conversational way. So another place people get hung up very often with testimonials is they're like, I want you to say this, and I want you to say it like this, and it's scripted, and it doesn't come across as real. So real experiences from customers, the true answers of how they use your product and why it's good for their business are what is going to build trust with other or similarly demographic people, will say, or people of like mind. It's about talking to them, doing an extensive interview to get the details you need, and then packaging it up. You're cutting it into smaller bite-sized pieces that you can put on social media, maybe have some kind of mid or long form versions that can be used as a sales tool. A big piece of what we're putting into this new product that we're creating is that we analyze those interviews to help companies identify the marketing messages that are resonating with their clients, identify the product features that are most useful or most pertinent to those clients, and identify the shortcomings. So the things they could be doing better, which nobody ever wants to talk about, but are a super important piece of what you have to do to continue to be successful, right?
So are you going to find that the content is going to be like, although everything gets edited, it has a start and stop point. Some people have the ability to chat on for hours. And of course, that's never good.
As a designer, you know clients want it all: a stunning site that runs their business and scales with their success. But tight deadlines shouldn't mean compromising your vision. Wix Studio is built for designers like you. Plan sites in seconds with AI-powered site mapping, then design, starting in Figma or in the Wix Studio editor with precise layout tools. Then bring your vision to life with no-code animations, AI tools, and one-click responsive design. Design smoother and deliver sooner. Go to wixstudio.com.
But are you doing it raw? In other words, hi. So you've said, don't script it. Let the person just say, hi, this is what I experienced. Are you taking all the good, the pros and the cons all in that one scoop? Is it like doing a review when someone's a Google review? Love this, didn't like that, but love the rest of it.
Yes, we do a full interview with these clients and cover all the pieces. What is actually used in marketing is probably mostly positive, right? You don't want to put all your warts front and center, but you do want to be aware of them so that you can work on them as needed. The interviews that we typically do are 15 to 20 minutes with a ideal client for a company. And the final products are a 90-second testimonial video, several social media clips, and then the new piece is this analysis. We started a testimonial project that went on for years with the aforementioned startup that went to an IPO and did their whole thing, the unicorn there. Early on, they had a handful of clients. They had a skeptical audience, we'll say. And so one of the first things they did was had my team go out and start collecting testimonials from these clients, right? And they were able to use these in marketing. They were able to use them, empower their sales team with them, kind of be able to show them off that way. And one of the less expected benefits was that I would have conversations with the founder after some of these interviews and share what I heard. So it was like, oh, they like this. They're not that into that. They don't use this thing. When I asked them about it, they didn't even know about it. Those types of things helped shape things going forward. It wasn't a real official process, but it just happened naturally. So then in more recent times, I went back and thought about where we've had some of the most success and decided to formalize that process. So now this is a similar product to what we were doing then, but a version that, bakes in that analysis piece to help folks make those adjustments and find out what's working best for them and make the testimonials more effective. I think that's more the rundown there, process-wise. We take the full interview, transcribe it, and do a lot of analysis with some AI assistants. We're able to dig into very specific language that was used that maybe you would miss just sitting in a room. We're able to find phrases that were repeated easily. We're able to take a deep look at what was said and interpret from there.
Nice thing about being over 60 is you see a lot of things that were going to happen that didn't happen. Max headroom was supposedly what was coming.
Mhm.
Is AI going to turn me into max headroom?
Maybe someday. I'm sure we could get a filter for you. But the way that we're using the AI has nothing to do with video creation. So it's a weird opposing viewpoints that we're embracing in this product. A lot of people out there right now are like, okay, AI, I can make all my marketing stuff with AI. I'll use AI. In a world where a lot of people are going all in on AI, there's never been a more important time to get real people on video and authentically tell their story to your client base. That's what's going to make you stand out. When everybody's using the AI video generators and you're using real video with real people, it's going to make that contrast even more pronounced. We'll analyze the transcripts with AI, but there's no plans of creating avatars. We dabble a little in creating specific clips with AI for certain use cases, but I personally wouldn't recommend pretending that an AI generated talking head was a former client.
Would you find that this whole process is a mix between almost like doing a commercial, an influencer on one of the social media platforms, and almost like a news story? It seems like those three attributes are kind of blended in there. And you're doing segments, even if you recorded for an hour, everything would be sliced up to fit the appropriate platform, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever. Is that the right vein? Is that the trend that you see coming the next 5 years or next 2 years?
I see it as the trend currently is to go deep into less authentic means. Is it the trend right now? Maybe not, but I think as people's timelines are full of fake, right? People are going to really start craving real. If it's not the trend at the moment, I think it will be shortly. To speak to some of what you're saying, being able to utilize this content in different ways is a trend from a marketing standpoint. Yeah, take your podcast here, right? Clip it up. You were talking audiograms, I think, and clips and all the other pieces. You got to do that. You can invest. You got to try to get every bit of value you can out of it.
Neil, you're a returning guest. A
Mhm.
nice thing is a person tells us their story, and a year later or even more, their story may have changed. It sounds like there's a bit of a pivot. Can you tell me what was versus what is and how the journey?
It has been a bit of a journey lately. Pre-pandemic, I was doing a lot of work like what I'm talking about here. During the pandemic, I tried to shift to a little more of a digital-based business where I was trying to teach people how to create their own video content, look good on camera, do those types of things, which I think was pertinent early in the pandemic and became less desirable as we came out of it. Somewhere in there, I had an opportunity to work with my alma mater, which is the college down here, and took that gig for a while. Life made different plans for me. We added another baby last year and got to get back to that maximum flexibility job like I used to have when I was running and stuff. We've got 3 kids now. They've all got things going on. There's a lot of value in that flexibility. So now I am back on my own. And part of the relaunch is this, which was really some self-reflection. I've been doing my own thing for 16 years. I was able to look back on my own history and pinpoint the projects and production we've done that's been the most successful, blend that with what is coming down the line from an industry standpoint, and full steam ahead with this testimonial-based video service. That's the story. A little bit of a roller coaster last couple of years.
Circling back to the testimonials, how many is enough? Or how many and how often is enough?
That's a great question. It depends, right? There's investment, whether you do them yourself, there's investment. As you do them with us, there's investment. So it's got to work with your marketing investment. The unicorn company I mentioned earlier did nothing but testimonials until they hit another level of growth where they brought in marketing people internally. We did probably 60 or 70 testimonials over a 2 or 3 year span. Do you have to do that many for creative insight? No. For a small company, if you did one a quarter, I think you could have a good steady flow of fresh content. And with your little social media bites, and you can pull quotes for graphics and stuff, you could have plenty of content. So
As a designer, you know clients want it all. A stunning site that runs their business and scales with their success. But tight deadlines shouldn't mean compromising your vision. Wix Studio is built for designers like you. Plan sites in seconds with AI-powered site mapping. Then design, starting in Figma or in the Wix Studio editor with precise layout tools. Then bring your vision to life with no-code animations, AI tools, and one-click responsive design. Design smoother and deliver sooner. Go to wixstudio.com.
there's a scale, I guess, a spectrum. You pick.
So as time wears on, you want to do more testimonials, especially if there's a new launch of a product, et cetera, and how much of the budget is available. Sounds like a marketing plan has to be in place. Testimonials feed into that. And at the same time, you're also doing a survey as a touch point. Is that survey part of the testimonial? For example, someone comes up and says, greatest thing since sliced bread. The but word shows up and oh no. But at the same time, do you then have someone from the company come in and thank the person, not necessarily in that session, but just even a clip where they thank them? Oh, by the way, this is the answer to the questions. Has the kiss on the forehead, slight slap, and then someone says, oh, by the way, this is what's happening. Do you envision that happening?
I foresee the step. I'll talk about the report itself. We have test versions of these reports, and we'll have, as we're finishing up with some of the new clients here who are first up in the service, we'll have more to share. They include everything from the best marketing messages you could pull from this interview. They include the breakdown of the shorter 90-second testimonial, or I guess that would be the longer of the testimonial content, but they include the breakdown of that script. They include ideal clips for social media, like shorter one sentence type things. They include areas to be improved. So you could take this report and decide that, okay, we just want to break everything down and use this for marketing. And I guess we likely would be doing that for you. You could use it for marketing, or decide to take those negative points to heart and change what you're doing. That might be the spot where the company reaches back out and says, hey, I want you to know we're fixing this. If you want to be the first in line to test it, we'd love to have you, or whatever. So there's marketing and there's strategy as potential avenues going forward. And then the other thing I would say on this is, if you started stacking up, and this was another thing that we did informally through the tech company that we helped, was as you start stacking up these testimonials and you got 10, there start to become common comments that people are making, or common areas that people are excited about or not excited about. You get up to 20, you get up to 30, things become more and more clear of where you could improve or what's really resonating. If you were to go and, as a small business, do one every quarter, you could certainly chart a path for yourself going forward. And if you're an early stage startup that wants to rocket quickly, you could put more in the can and have a more defined path that should find you customer success.
At a risk of being an inside baseball question, we do podcasts. That's what we do. I'm interested in how you would like to chop up this podcast for your website with credit to us, obviously, but how you would actually do the hands-on. Wayne said this, Bernie said that, I said this, right in their marketing media.
Yeah. How I would do it procedurally is I would take this full transcript. I would try to identify those clips that say what I need and go from there. If whoever's in there adds context to what I'm saying, then bring them along. This actually, and this is kind of a live offer. So if you decline, I guess I get it. But I could make one of the reports that we do for the testimonials for this episode if you would like to share it, or even just
Sure.
get your own eyes on.
Gee, Neil, you know what? I won't say no to that. It's what we don't know, we learn, right? When we come across it. And I won't ever say no to having a good learning experience. Painful ones, not so much. But I'm always open to a good experience to expand the horizon.
Right.
One thing that I'm fascinated about is they use the word authentic an awful lot right now. And sometimes I find people think authentic means poor quality, that they just take their iPhone and go, hi, this is me. What do you find your toolkit brings to them to get them not overproduced, but not disastrous?
Yes. I love that question, Wayne, because it gives me a chance to get into it. Speaking specifically of the testimonial service we will consult with folks on how to get their own video set up looking as good as possible, how to coach up their testimonial clients on how to do the same, how to conduct that interview, right? So that they get the highest quality answers, right? The just common things like don't ask yes or no questions. Yeah, open-ended questions are where it's at, and trying to dig a little deeper when you see that there's potential value in an answer from your client. We do all that. We also have video kits that we have set a lot of folks up with. Ultimately, the top end version of it will be that we send out a studio in a box type kit to these testimonial candidates and have them do a push button studio setup and record a high quality piece of video that we can then process for that client. Yes, I agree that people conflate authentic with low quality very often, right? It is true that is in a way authentic, but when I speak about authenticity, I'm more talking about authenticity in messaging versus authenticity in how poor of a videographer somebody wants to.
The next question I have, should the person giving the testimonial be paid?
Great question. I am going to go with no. The reason I say no is you're risking some of that authenticity by paying people, right? If somebody's truly happy with your product, at least in my experience, they typically have no problem saying something nice about it. Very often, a client that's happy with a business or a product really wants to help. They want to be part of your success story. So I would not offer payment for testimonials. Here's where I started to backtrack a little. After the fact, if you want to send a thank you gift or do something nice because there's some reciprocity that could happen there, I think that's great. But if it's, I'll pay you $100, come on and do a testimonial, I feel like you're already eating away at that authenticity that's so important.
When a person comes in and says, hi, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, do you get them to sign a release? And then what's the lifespan of that release? Can you use it into infinity and beyond? And if it generates revenue, is the reciprocity then extended even a bit further?
Yeah, it's a good idea to get a release. What I've often done in past situations is like, and especially if you're going to do a testimonial on your own, the easiest way to get a release is to just record and tell them, hey, you're cool with me using this in my marketing. And they say yes. So you have a verbal, I don't know how well that would stand up, but you have some sort of recorded verbal contract. If you want to do it more right than that, you got to talk to a lawyer and get a release set up. I am not one, so I won't pretend that I have all the right answers, but within your release, you typically will specify how something can be used and even specify a duration. If somebody signs a release, does a testimonial, then decides they don't like your product for some reason, from an ethical standpoint, you should not use that testimonial. Whether there's a release or there's a human side here, if somebody no longer wants to represent your brand, I think you need to respect.
And I'd like your take on where it is a bit of a rocky territory is affiliate marketing. You are actually giving somebody a commission for recommending you. And my personal take, as long as you didn't lie that you were getting a commission, and then you're fine. But what is the change in the marketplace with this affiliate marketing, if any?
Affiliate marketing is a popular way for brands to market, especially if they're trying to engage with influencers. I would take the lead of YouTube there. They make you declare if you're being compensated, whether it's free product or commission. But they make you declare it, and it doesn't, I don't think, really impact.
These days, clients want it all. A slick-looking site that can run their business and scale with their success. The good news? That's exactly what Wix Studio is built for. Plan out your client's whole site in seconds with AI-powered site mapping and wireframing. Then, when everyone's on the same page, jump into the creative, starting off in Figma and exporting it in a click, or in the Wix Studio editor with precise layouting tools like Grid, Stack, and Flexbox. Go above and beyond the brief with no-code animations, custom CSS, and built-in business solutions, and make your whole vision responsive in a click. And there's zero need to break a sweat when clients grow fast. A dynamic CMS with global design settings and reusable assets lets you turn one page into hundreds. Design smoother and deliver sooner. Go to wixstudio.com.
If you're putting out good info and you're authentically, again, excited about whatever product you're talking, I don't think it affects how people feel about the video all that much. It goes back to the same kind of thing, right? People can see through a lot of the stuff. If somebody's trying to sell something and they don't believe in it, the lizard brain goes nuts and you don't believe them. The declaration's one thing, but the reality is even worse for those types of situations.
Neil, let's assume that this resonated perfectly. And a client goes, or one of our listeners go, I'm never going to get around to it. I don't think I'll do a good job. I want to talk to Neil. How much, and or possibly even a competitor of Neil, but how much should a person be looking at to craft a product?
Yes, I have this set up with 3 levels of participation and investment. The lowest level, much like what I had done in the past with teaching people, is DIY level service. We do some consulting calls. We've got a lot of educational content, and clients create their testimonials on their own. The middle level that we have is a done with you type of setup. So if people want to engage with their clients directly, some people would rather not have a third party come in, and some people would like to save the production costs. With the done with you version, we help coach companies on how to conduct the interviews and capture the testimonials, and then we'll do the editing and reporting on them. And then we have the full done for you service where we will identify the clients, help the client identify who their best clients are, set up interviews. Down the line, we'll be doing kits and stuff, but we'll record in the highest quality possible and then do the content creation and reporting after that. The range is anywhere from $250 up to, for some of the packages and so on that we're working with, about $2,700. I guess that's a pretty good range. I guess 10x from start to the higher end one, and that's where we're working with to start here.
So you get a testimonial, you give it to the company. How do they, or how do you, or how do you both track the efficacy? Did it make a whisper? Did it go viral? What happens if it goes viral? You'll know, because you'll end up everywhere going, hey, there's my ad. And it's
Right.
like where you didn't expect it to show up. But how do you track the yield?
Yeah, so we work with marketing companies to do placements and so on. If a company has an internal marketing team, the answer would be somewhat specific to the company itself. But I will say my answer to this personally has nothing to do with views or virality. To me, a successful video has helped close a sale. So to go back to the startup I've referenced a number of times, these videos would be, the sales team would take them on their phones and they could show like, hey, that guy down the road, this is what he said about us, and sign them up. So that, to me, that one view is worth, I don't know, 1 million views that don't convert. That's my answer. But yeah, internal marketing teams, the marketing groups that we work with would probably give you a better answer than that.
Are there geographies that you tend to fit more comfortably in? And if a person does want to get a hold of you, how they get a hold of you?
Yeah, we work primarily in the US. We've done some Canadian work as well. The easiest way to get a hold of me is you can look me or Vidwheel up on LinkedIn if you're a user up there. I'm fairly active, or just vidwheel.com. And you can book a meeting with me. You can look at info on these product lines right there. We have done work overseas too, to your point. English speaking is probably important. I don't want to mess up the testimonials with a misinterpretation or anything.
I want to say thank you to Neil Carroll, my co-host Wayne Pratt, and you, the Knack for Business listeners. If you're into getting testimonials to help move your product, your service, your connections, developing more of a profile into the public eye, reach out to Neil.
To reach the podcast hosts, email them at info@creativeinsight.com or by the website creativeinsight.com, spelled KRETINSIGHT.com. To reach Wayne at his email, wayne@motive8u.ca, that is MOTIVE, the numeral 8 and the letter u.ca, or his website, motive8u.ca. If you would like to be a guest on this podcast and share your knowledge, let us know. We would also appreciate your feedback on the content or format. Check the show notes for more details. For these podcasts, we like to acknowledge the support and thanks to the following people. Carl Richards from Podcast Solutions Made Simple, a renowned podcast expert. Fred Crouch, who is the Property Wizard podcaster, where Bernie is a co-host. Jovan Strika from At Hive, a co-working space that is more than just a space. Then Melanie Weber, Bernie's invaluable business partner, and Wayne Pratt from Motive 8U Inc., who serves as both a coach and co-host of these podcasts. Disclaimer. Please note that the Knack for Business podcast episodes are meant solely for educational and general informational purposes. The information and opinions contained within are not intended to be professional advice on any subject matter. The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed by the participants are their own personal beliefs and do not represent the views of the podcast hosts or any affiliated organizations. It is important to note that this podcast is not a replacement for consulting with certified experts in your area who possess knowledge of your unique situation. The hosts of the podcast, along with any participants or affiliated groups, do not take responsibility for any actions taken or not taken based on the information presented in this episode. It is highly recommended that individuals seek guidance from their own personal advisors in fields such as accounting, law, or other pertinent areas prior to undertaking any actions or making decisions that may impact their financial, legal, or other aspects of life.
As a professional web creator, you're skilled at juggling it all. You deserve a platform that elevates your work. Wix Studio is built for designers, developers, and marketers who demand more. With high-end design capabilities, streamlined workflows, and robust business tools, build with AI-powered site mapping, seamless Figma to Wix Studio imports, no-code animations, and built-in responsiveness. Manage from one workspace, collaborate with teams, streamline workflows, and deliver projects without the chaos. Scale without the headaches. Reuse designs across projects, let infrastructure run itself, and handle more clients without burning out. From freelancer to agency, Wix Studio grows with your ambitions. Build, manage, and scale with hyper-efficiency on Wix Studio.